If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right at both wagertalk.com and sportsmemo.com. All Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
The playoff matches are decided, guys, but we are here to break down the remaining games in the NHL. There's money to be made. Build these bankrolls before the postseason gets started. Welcome in here to Wager Talk TV. This is Puck Time. I'm Andrew. I have Carmine and Bryan with me, and we'll try and find some bet-on spots for you guys today here on the Thursday slate in the National Hockey League. Carm, I wasn't on the show yesterday, but I did see what your best bet is, and you did cash it against my Montreal Canadiens. They put up a fight, but the New York Islanders, they clinched their playoff position. They clinched their team total over as well and cashed that ticket for you. So the playoffs are decided. Western Conference, Eastern Conference, the rest of the games for now, I always say they're playing for a paycheck, they're playing for exercise, they're playing for a spot on the team next year. And that's pretty much what we have going on tonight. So I'll bring you in, Carm. What's up, man?
Things are good. You failed to mention after 16 or 17 years, the Pittsburgh Penguins missed the playoffs, Andrew. I see how you easily forgot that one. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about that one. I cashed the plus 270 ticket on them to miss the playoffs, so I'm really happy about that. 5-1 night yesterday. Just missed out on the shot prop in the Calgary game. I expected a ton of shots by Calgary, and they got 49 shots on goal, and I just couldn't hit. Lindholm played playmaker instead of shooter, so I couldn't hit on that one. But I'll take 5-1 sports day all the time, man. The games I chose for today's show, guys, even though all the playoff all the playoff positions are secured, I chose 4 games today: Carolina, Florida, New Jersey, Washington, Winnipeg, Colorado, and Vegas and Seattle, because there are still division number 1 seeds in place, some division number 2 seeds in place. So there's a lot of positioning left. So all of these games that we're going to discuss today have something at stake for the teams playing. So I thought it was important to do those ones instead of like having the Edmonton Oilers minus 500 over San Jose as a game that we discuss. But I'm going to mention something in that Edmonton game a little later on, Andrew, which is an interesting point on maybe a possible prop bet that we can make some money on. But it's Thursday's show. My favorite guy, Bryan Leonard, in the house. Bri, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on this hell of a run you're on. I hope I didn't jinx you when I texted you on that run, and then you ended up losing the last one. But yeah, you've been on a terrific run. Baseball's been good to me the last couple of days. I've been passing in the NHL, but I do have a couple plays up for today, and I'm going to give you both of those here on the show. But yeah, it's to win in the NHL is good enough, but to win when you're playing games at this time of the season, normally I sit out a lot of games unless it's like today's where you got the 4 games that matter. You're able to win just about anything. So yeah, congratulations, and good to have Andrew back on the show also, even though he's not in his regular spot. But hope he enjoyed his time in Toronto.
Thanks, Bryan. It was a really, really good time. It's always like that good feeling of being home, but really nice of Carm to show me around. It kind of sucks seeing my Canadians get their butts kicked, but the Blue Jays had an unbelievable game. And I'll tell you, Bryan, I know you're a baseball guy. Those renovations are making that the Coors Field of East Coast. It's with that lineup, I'm telling you, we're going to see some overs at that field. The renovations, it's not going to take much for a ball to get over the park there in that one. But yeah, good to be back. And I mean, Carmine producing 5-1 nights like it's just an average thing these days. So Carm, keep it up, man. You're crushing it. Guys, can't wait for the playoffs. Let's jump into our first game here. We have the Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes. Of course, this is a big Eastern Conference matchup here. Obviously, in this game, really, there's not much movement potentially for these two teams in the standings, but we'll try and break things down and get into it. Starting things off, I guess, with this Florida Panthers team, I'll just say that this is a team that didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs or not. They didn't know what their pathway was. They didn't know really where they'd end up. And here you are seeing a pick in this game. Now, the question is, of course, as always, and I mentioned it with Carmine when we were in person together, is just constantly looking at the injury list or who's resting, who's going to be in and out or not. And that's kind of the big question in this game. But for me, I kind of want to look towards the home team here with Florida. I think Florida will be coming in with this game, actually caring a bit more about it. They're a team that's riding a lot of positive momentum right now, and I don't think they really want to shut that down towards the end of the season. Some teams rest, some teams, sub in and out some key players. Some teams will put in a third string goaltender so their starting goaltenders don't get hurt. I don't think that will be Florida. I think if anything out of these two teams, it would be Carolina. Florida, to me, is a team playing well right now. And Carl, remember we joked around together in person about the goaltender right now for Florida. He used to be our automatic fade, and now he's a bet on here with Lions. So it's crazy how things can change. But what are your thoughts here, Carm? I think I actually go towards the home team here.
Yeah, I'm going to skip the and looking at the side. And for I while you were talking, I think someone mentioned, why is the line in this Carolina game so low? There's something at stake for both teams. So here's what's obviously what is at stake for both teams. Carolina are right now holding a 1-point lead in the Metro over New Jersey. And they need a regulation win, provided you figure New Jersey wins their game against Washington. Whether New Jersey wins their game in regulation or OT doesn't matter. Carolina needs to win their game in regulation, because if they were to win it in OT, or if they were to lose it in OT and pick up a point, and New Jersey wins, then New Jersey gets in on wins the Metro on the regulation wins. It's 39-38 right now. So Carolina's got to win this game. They can win it in regulation or OT, but they need to win the game. You look at Florida. Florida obviously are in the playoffs. They're in 8th spot, a point behind the Islanders. But if they where is it here? Sorry, if they get a win today against Carolina, they will avoid playing the Boston Bruins in the first round of the playoffs and get the winner of the Metro, which could end up being, if they beat Carolina, could end up being the New Jersey Devils. So they can set up a matchup where they play the New Jersey Devils in the first round. And let's face it, if you had to choose between who do you want to play in the first round, you probably want to avoid the Boston Bruins and take your chances with either New Jersey or Carolina, but it would be New Jersey. With that said, 8-1, their last 9 games to the under for Carolina. They're playing, they're not scoring goals. They're trying to get wins. They had that 3-game losing streak, which hurt their chances of winning this division quite easily and having it done and dusted by now. But 6.5 seems too low. Alex Lyons and Nan, we talked about Andrew. Yeah, he was our automatic over bet whenever he was in goal for the Philadelphia Flyers. But he's doing extremely well. They've got him in net, and they're sticking with him. Freddie Anderson should be the goalie for Carolina here. This is going to be a tight one. So I just don't see goals. It's not a meaningless game that turns into a pond hockey game. I think over 6.5 is too high here. We don't normally see Carolina lines at 6.5 to start with. So the fact that we see one, I'm leaning under here. I'm not going to take a side. Personally, I'm cheering for Carolina to get the win tonight. But with that said, I'm going to take the under. I think under 6.5 is the play here in a game where the margins are extremely thin as far as sides go. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I agree with both of you. I think the under's the way to go when you got two teams that really need the game. Just like the Edmonton game the other night against Colorado. Some guy, for some reason, gave out a big play on the over in the game. I couldn't figure it out, but making fun of Carmine for probably his second loser this week. But that game was a clear under to me. This one looks like a clear under, and we'll get to another one of those a little bit later. But yeah, I agree with both of you. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. But I think Andrew is on the right side here with Florida to be able to win and not have to play Boston. Because to be totally honest with you, if they play Boston, it's probably a sweep. Florida they may win one, but if they could play New Jersey, they got a chance to win that series. So it's a major game for them tonight. Carolina, sure, you want to win. There's no doubt about it. You want to win the division. You want to end up with that number one seed. But take a look at the way Carolina has played as of late. They've gone 1-4 on the road. If you take a look at their schedule for the entire month here of April, they played one game against a team currently in the playoffs, and that was the Islanders. They played them at home, and they win 2-1. The other teams they played: Montreal, Ottawa, Nashville, Buffalo, Ottawa, Detroit. They're not ready to play a Florida team that right now, sure, they kind of backed into the playoffs with the last game with the Islanders and in Pittsburgh, both losing in the last couple of days, but. This is a team that's got something to play for here. If you take a look at the schedule so far this season, each team has thrown a shutout. There's been 4 and 3 goals scored in these games. So I like the Florida side. I like the underside, and may end up playing Carolina goals under because of that and add all to it. And so maybe we can get 3 bets out of this. But that's the way I'm looking at this one as well.
Great info there, Brian, and Carmine as well. I definitely, I got to say, I let it slip. I did not realize that there was a chance for the Devils to get to Carolina there. So that is my bad, and I'm happy Carmine said that. Having said that, I do still stick with my Florida pick because of what a lot of stuff Brian said there, and simply just looking at Florida right now, the way they've been playing, every game's been a must-win game, and I feel like they won't really escape that mentality. So it should be interesting. But Carm, getting into the next one. We talk about this New Jersey team. Obviously, we were just mentioning them now. They play the Capitals plus 160. Devils a bit bigger favorites here in this one. You got minus 185, 190, depending on where you're looking around. Puck line minus 1.5. Pretty good price there on that one. But after they had one upset just the other day, the Capitals, do you think they can do it again, Carm, or is this a good day to bet on the New Jersey Devils?
Well, obviously, from a personal point of view, I would love for the Washington Capitals to win, just because I have a futures bet on the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Metro that I put in preseason. So I would love nothing better than an upset in this one. And yeah, they surprised they surprised the New York Islanders, and they were shorthanded, as I mentioned in that game. But Ovechkin will be playing tonight. He was on the ice. He is on for at the morning skate. He was on a line and with Backstrom and Smith, so he will be in the lineup tonight. TJ Oshie will not be in the lineup tonight for them, and it's very simple for the Devils. For the Devils, win, and they need a Canes loss in either regulation or OT, and the Devils will win the Metro. So obviously the games are of interest tonight. The Devils have to be the right side here. They're playing well. I get it. It's Ovechkin's last game of the season, and the Caps probably want to against a divisional rival. Would love nothing better than to pull off the upset tonight. It's going to be an interesting game. I think the Devils are the right play here. I think I'm going to lean to a total, guys, instead of going sides. Even though I think the Devils are the right play here, I'm leaning to the over. I think we're going to see some goals tonight in this one. This is not going to be a tight checking affair because only one team has something to play for here. And we saw with the Capitals, even with a depleted lineup, they scored 5 on the New York Islanders at home, and they're looking to do the same here. I expect some goals tonight. I'm going to go over in this one. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think the only way you could play this game is to play New Jersey. Washington's actually fought pretty well in the last week or so. I've read some of the comments from some of the players, and they said they thought they were playing well. New Jersey's 1-4 lately on the road, but it is the fourth game of 6 days for the Capitals. New Jersey has been very good on the road all season long. They just had some rough outings as of late, getting blown out at Winnipeg, losing at Boston. You can't fault somebody for doing that. But to me, New Jersey, this is a line. If you would bet New Jersey right now, you're going to get the best of it. I can't see the general public, as Marco would say, Joe Public, coming into this and betting on Washington, knowing that the game is important for New Jersey. So we may see this line go up even higher. So if you like New Jersey, get them now. Don't wait. But I prefer the New Jersey side here, even though they have not played well on the road lately, just because of the importance of the game. And Washington's been a team that I've been fading and having a lot of success with. So give me New Jersey. Not a huge play, obviously, because of the line right now where it is. But that's the side I would prefer.
I'm going to stay away from the side and just stick with the total. I agree with the over there that Carmine mentioned. I think that this is a Washington Capitals team that might not be blocking a ton of shots. They might not be playing the best defense. Back-checking levels might not be there. But their offensive intensity could be there. You know, they would definitely love to beat a divisional opponent in their last game of the season. And looking at some of their games, I mean, like Brian, you were saying, I mean, whether they've been allowing goals or they've been giving up goals, they've been involved in some games here, you know, giving up 5 to Boston, scoring 5 against the Islanders, giving up 4 against the Panthers, 6 against the Canadiens, 5 against the Rangers, 5 against Tampa Bay. And this New Jersey team, obviously no stranger to offensive games as well, with the amount of talent that they have. Only thing that really worries me is that this New Jersey team has to get into playoff hockey mode. They can't be playing these style of games once the postseason starts. So we'll find out if they really have that in them. But I haven't really seen that type of hockey out of them guys since the halfway point of the season. You know, this has been a team that, for the most part, a lot of their wins, they're scoring 3 or 4 goals, you know, whereas start of the year, a lot of their success, even though it wasn't talked about enough, was due to their really good defense. So I think that these two teams can drag each other into a really high-scoring game, and we can see some goals. So we got 2 6.5s to start off the show. One, we're looking collectively towards the under, and in this one, we're looking towards the over as a group. It sounds like, at least I'll speak for myself and Carmine, and Brian leans towards the Devils. Carmine, you had a quick comment?
Yeah, you know, Brian mentioned the phrase Joe Public, and the first thing that came to my head is Brian a music fan? Because there was a group from Buffalo back in the day, I think it was probably 20 years ago, called Joe Public. They had a song, Brian, 1992, Live and Learn, which is what we do every day, betting to this sport, especially during the last couple of days of the NHL season. So I'm not sure if you're a music fan, but Joe Public, there's a phrase that imagine some guy actually having the name Joe Public. You go in and say your name. It's Joe Public.
John Doe.
No, seriously. What's your real name?
Joe
Public.
Yeah, I am a music fan, but I didn't know that band. In fact, since you mentioned music, I'm in a conundrum tonight because the Knights are playing for first place in the division, and Metallica is doing a nationwide movie theater promotion of their new album, where they're going to play all the videos and talk about the videos. So I already bought tickets for that like a month ago. And so I'll be sitting in the movie theater and I'll be in the last row checking scores. So yeah, big music fan.
I love it. Enjoy yourself there, Brian. Let's get into our next game here. We have Winnipeg and Colorado going head to head. Of course, we will see the big whiteout in the playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets clinch their position. They are in the postseason. Colorado, well, Brian, they're trying to repeat. They're trying to go back to the Stanley Cup Finals. And as I keep talking about, some teams will be resting and things like that. But some teams, they want to keep their feet on the gas pedal. You know, they don't want to take that, take out that rest and that break. And all of a sudden next week it's the playoffs and you haven't been used to that intensity. So Colorado minus 195 here. How do you approach this one against a Winnipeg team that's been playing some pretty good hockey?
Yeah, currently Colorado's 1 point behind Dallas with 2 games to play, and Dallas plays tonight. And obviously, Dallas is probably going to get the victory against St. Louis. They're about a 240 favorite, so that's being expected. Winnipeg is in a situation where they're playing their 3rd game in 4 days. And do you want to play Edmonton? Do you want to play Vegas? I don't see any advantages in either one of those games for Winnipeg. I think this is going to be a one and done once they get to the playoffs, unfortunately. And this was a team, if you remember, Andrew, they were 30 or 50 to 1 or something, and we played that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And they were playing really well. Well, second half of the season they've kind of faded a little bit. So I expect Colorado to come out and win this game. The line's actually, it's gone up, but still, considering one team has really something to majorly to play for and the other doesn't, I think there's still some value here on Colorado. Colorado's a team that nobody wants to play out west. You know, all the talk is about Vegas and Edmonton. Vegas being on what they've done all season, Edmonton because they've been so hot lately. Colorado, even though they're winning these games, they're still the team to beat, if you ask me. So, yeah, I prefer Colorado. I'm not going to lay this big number, but maybe I could play Winnipeg goals under or something like that as a team total and get there that way. But that's the way I'm looking.
Yeah, Colorado definitely was something to play for here. Trying to just end this season on a great note, but also end the season at the top, right? And Dallas has been playing some really good hockey as well here. And Carm taking a look at Colorado, what they've been able to do recently. Even in defeat, I think they've looked pretty solid defensively. But speaking of defense, I know you've been talking totals quite a bit on the show today, Carm. 10 of the last 13 going under for the Winnipeg Jets. Clearly, it's a correlation with their success when they have low-scoring games. Connor Hellebuck's definitely been on his game.
Yeah, he has been on his game, but I'm pretty sure he won't be in goal tonight. I have to believe they give him the night off, and he was listed as the projected goalie last night, and then this morning I'm seeing that it's going to be Riddick, and Riddick hasn't played in goal for a month. He has, I think his last game was back on March 14th, I think it was the last time he played, and that's because they gave Hellebuck on this playoff push a heavy workload where he played every single game. So, with that said, it's a game of importance to Colorado. They need to win out, and they win. They get at the very least the number 2 seed in the West, but the number 1 seed in the Central, which I would love because they were 12 points back of Dallas and Minnesota and struggling. They were plus 380 to win the Central. So I took that one and released it for clients. So I would love to cash a 380 ticket on them. At this line, this has been a market mover, and it's moved when we saw that the possible goalie change, that it could be Riddick in goal. From 170, there are some books on the Wager Talk Live lines now showing you minus 215 on this game. But sometimes you can find something within a play where you don't want to lay the 215. If you're comfortable laying it, and I'm not, I look for other ways. And I'm going to look at the team total. I've hit a couple of team totals as our free plays on the show. This won't be a free play on the show. I have a different play for you, but this is one that I do like. And the Colorado team total is a 3.5 minus 115, 115 to the over. And after that tight defensive game in which some bonehead had the over 6.5 against the Edmonton Oilers, I think we see a looser game here, and we see a Colorado team that's going to come out looking to get, obviously, the all-important 2 points in regulation, which is also important for them as well, too, and getting the win and scoring some goals. So give me the over 3.5 team total for Colorado, minus 115.
All right, the team total over. I got to love it. Brian pokes fun at you. You poke fun at yourself. I mean, what's life if you can't make fun of yourself, right? I mean, Carm, I watched a lot of games with you. We went to some bars, sweat out some bets, and maybe that was a bet that I was happy we weren't at a bar to watch together. We did a lot of celebrating, Brian, a lot of cheers, a lot of having fun. that game might not have been as fun if we were watching it over and it finished like that. So maybe we picked a good night to stay in for that game, Carb.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing I think, Andrew, was after the Leafs game, in which we went to Real Sports Bar, which is like literally 100 feet from the arena, and we went to watch UFC. So it was Andrew, Buster, and his buddy and myself. And Andrew says that he's got like a big play in one of the UFC fights, and Buster bet the other side. So, but the bet wins, and Buster jumps up and starts dancing in the middle of the bar without a thought on the fact that Andrew just lost a play. Now, there's two unfortunate things. Number one, that Andrew lost his play. Number two, that I had to watch Buster dance. That's not something on your, like, my eyes were bleeding. And I know Buster is watching this show, so I'll give him some love and mention that Buster does have a 5% play over at Sports Memo today on tonight's NHL action. So head over there, show the man some love. He's our Tuesday regular. His team got walloped 7-1, but he won a UFC play. So congrats to him.
That was a sight to see. Right next to me too, sitting right next to me, celebrating right in front of me. But it was a good time, and
it was like watching. If you're a Seinfeld fan, have you ever watched Elaine Bennis doing the dance where she's like all over the place and stuff? That was Buster. His legs and arms were going like in completely different directions. I'm like, he's either having a stroke or he's celebrating a win. I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm glad he's okay.
And then he left for the main event. And then after he left, I hit my bet. So it all worked out. It all worked out in the end. I haven't had a chance to mention this, guys, because I haven't been on the past 2 days. But a lot of people that watch this show just watch the show, have never actually been to wagertalk.com before. And that's completely fine. We appreciate all of you guys that tune in. But if anybody out there watching has ever had any interest in buying plays or finding out what it's like to buy plays, you guys can go to wagertalk.com, pick a handicapper of your choice, use that code TRYWT, TRYWT, take 50% off a daily or 3-day all access pass. And guys, those passes in general are really great because you're going to get everything we release. Today for myself, it'll be MLB and hockey, but I might just have one play featured as the best bet for sale. But all access clients will get every single play that I do have out there. That's TRYWT, TRYWT, take 50% off. So guys, if you ever had any interest in buying plays or just checking us out, feel free to use that promo code. It is a great one. And again, it's only for a day or 3 days. Get you a chance to kind of see what's going on there and see if you have any interest in sticking along with a handicapper or not. But TRYWT over at wagertalk.com. Brian, we'll go to you for our last game of the day here on the show, at least before we get into best bets. The Vegas Golden Knights minus 120, Seattle plus 100, the total at 6. And before I throw it to you, I just want to say this. Of course, I know you're familiar with Pat McAfee. I'm a big fan of the show. I watch his podcasts and stuff. And he bet Jack Eichel, if Jack Eichel gets a hat trick in this game, he will give him $100,000. I got to say, part of me is tempted to bet him just to get one goal. Forget the hat trick. He's going to try and get at least, you got to get one goal to at least get the hat trick. So I thought that was probably worth mentioning there. You know, you got to bet with somebody for $100,000 if you get a hat trick. You got to think he'll be going for it. But Vegas minus 120. What do you think here, Brian?
Actually, I've got to clarify something for you. He said he would donate $100,000 to his favorite charity in his name if he did it. So It's not like it's a betting thing. The NHL, I don't think, would appreciate that. But right. Yeah, it's something that, and Eichel even mentioned it, and it may not even be just this game. I think he might have said before the season's over. So if it may be in a playoff game, who knows? Anyway, I would like it being a Knights fan, but it's this is a very interesting game. And I'm going to give you a player. It's not my best bet on the show, but I want people to get one of my plays. In fact, I used the side as my free play today on the website, and I also like the under here. Very similar to what I talked about with Carmine's game the other day. Two teams with something to play for here. Kraken have lost 6 of 7 games in their short history against Vegas. There's still an 11% chance that they may play Vegas in the first round. So they need to show that they've got the ability to beat Vegas. So it's important to them in that regard. Vegas obviously needs to win in order to get home ice against if Edmonton ever gets there, because they don't match up well with Edmonton. If Vegas loses tonight and they got to play Edmonton, I'm telling you right now, Edmonton's going to beat them in the playoffs if Vegas doesn't have the home ice. So very important game for Vegas. Eichel is playing tonight. Theodore made the trip, but I read something yesterday that he probably wasn't going to play. But they're trying to get everybody back in the lineup here before the end of the season. In fact, Mark Stone, the team captain, was on the ice the other day. He's skating no contact right now. He's not going to play tonight, but he's going to be back for the playoffs. And keep in mind, in the playoffs, the salary cap does not matter. And we saw Boston do this a few years ago. Vegas did it again last year, unfortunately, with Stone. When you make $11 million, you've got to claim that if you play in the regular season. But in the playoffs, you don't. So he'll be back for the playoffs. So Vegas is getting to be where they're getting back fully healthy for probably the first time all year, other than the first couple of weeks where, as if you remember, Vegas got off to a tremendous start in that regard. So keep that in mind if you're looking to bet the playoffs. Vegas should be fully there. But I like the under here is a free play as well. Vegas, if they get the lead in this game, I expect them to lock it down defensively, just like they did the other day on Tuesday here in Las Vegas. Kraken had 4 shots on goal in the third period in that game. The Kraken have made the quote saying that they're not going to give up those easy goals like they did last week or last game. That would tell me that this is going to be a slugfest, very similar to what you saw the other day. Although the Kraken do score more goals at home than they do on the road. There have been a lot of high-scoring games at home. I think this is a low-scoring game. If Vegas gets out to an early 2-0 start, I think they shut it down, and we get a 4-1 final at the worst, I think.
Great info there, Brian. And I agree with a lot of stuff you just said there in that one. One thing I will say, I have a little bone to pick, though, with your Vegas Golden Knights, because if there's one thing going wrong in the NHL right now, we always talk about load management in the NBA. I think this right here, the LTIR stuff, is the big problem in the NHL, because I'm no doctor, but last week Mark Stone wasn't feeling very well. And all of a sudden the playoffs are next week. He's good. He's healthy now. He's ready to go because the salary cap does not matter. So it's amazing, Carm, how these players get really healthy just when the playoffs are about to start.
Yeah, it doesn't bug me as much right now in the NHL. Obviously, with bigger rosters and bigger squads, as opposed to, a 12-man NBA bench or a team and bench, where one or two big stars taking the night off literally shifts that point spread 7 or 8 points. But as far as this game goes, I agree with Brian. I think if Vegas get a lead in this game, they can pretty much shut Seattle down. Seattle has something to play for. They're sitting in 7th right now, but they're 2 points back of LA and have the tiebreaker as the advantage. So if they were to get the win tonight against Vegas, they would tie the LA Kings, but go ahead of them for that number 3 seed in the Pacific. But the LA Kings have a game tonight, and they're playing the free space on the bingo card, which is the Anaheim Ducks. So I don't see them losing that game at all. And I think at the very least, all they need is a point in that game, and they're good to lock in that spot. And Brian mentioned what's going on with the Vegas Golden Knights. They're trying to hold on to that number 1 seed overall and the number 1 in obviously in the Pacific. The Avalanche have an outside shot at the number 1 seed overall if they were to win both games and Vegas was to lose tonight, and then obviously get some help from the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers not beating the Sharks tonight, but again, another free space on the bingo card. I like the under here, just because it's a game of importance. I'm not sure how exactly it plays out, but I think it's a tighter checking game, and one where if a team gets ahead, they try and lock it down. So I'm gonna agree on the under here and keep it there. I'm not going to give you a side because I'm not going to bet a side. If I'm not putting money on a side, why would I tell you to take either one of these teams?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything we say here on the show, or for myself especially too, if I'm talking about it, if I'm giving it out here, it's either a client play, a free play, something that I'm definitely putting my money into as well, Carm. I love that saying, man, the free space on the bingo card. That would be, imagine if you were a reporter and you just said that, like, hey, Columbus, Anaheim, how does it feel being a free space on the bingo card? I'm not sure how much they'd like that one. But guys, I'm on a different page. I'm looking towards the over in this game. A lot of times when teams play each other recently, I kind of look for either the losing team to bounce back, or I look for the opposite total that we saw in the first game. And I think that we'll get a better score out of the Seattle Kraken. I think we'll get a better response out of them. I think they will play better at home, but I don't think they can stop Vegas from scoring. So I get the mentality, I get the mindset of if Vegas gets a lead, they'll protect it. But I think overall we see a better offensive performance out of Seattle. But I don't think they can stop Vegas in this one. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a 5-3 win here, probably towards the Vegas side. But I'm the contrarian in this one. I'll go towards the over here, over 6 at minus 115.
Andrew, so I want to mention something before we get into the best bets, because I did say I would talk about something. And, over the last few days, I talk about players hitting milestones. And the milestones is the contract milestones, which gets them more money. Tonight, the Edmonton Oilers play the San Jose Sharks in what is expected to be a big win for the Oilers. Well, Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers has 2 possible contract hits that can come in tonight, bonuses. If he's on 39 points, if he hits 40 points, so all he needs is an assist or a goal, whatever, he gets another $212,500 in bonus. If he gets 2 points tonight, he gets an additional $212,500. So he can make $425,000 tonight with 2 points. But at DraftKings, you can actually bet Evan Bouchard over half a point, minus 105. So he's only got 39 points, and it's an 80-game season. So obviously he averages pretty much half a point a game. But the players are always aware of fellow players, and the coaches are aware. So late in the game, this guy could get extra shifts or on the power play in a game that the Oilers have in hand. I'm willing to take a shot on over half a point, minus 105 on Evan Bouchard to make the guy a little bit of money.
That's a really, really good price there. And we always make money with those prop bets at the end of the season in the NFL. Why can't we do it in the NHL as well? Great stuff there, Carm, with that. I think the incentives matter. And like you said, teammates are aware of that stuff. They will try and help out their teammates. We know that they know about this stuff. It definitely does matter. Carm, we'll go right back to you. What you have going on today? You're off a big day in the NHL. Of course, you've got a lot of soccer action going lately too. What's going on for you today and your clients?
Yeah, it's 2-0 yesterday in Champions League, a 5-1 day overall. And I have 2 Europa League plays that go this afternoon at 3 p.m. And of course, a 4-pack in the NHL tonight. I like so many of the games, but I had to keep them to 4. It's been a really good NHL season. We're just shy of 90% bankroll gain on the NHL season. So it's been a great year. I'm going to go to, so 4 plays up. The one day I'll access will get them all. I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh game tonight, Pittsburgh Columbus. It's the other free game on the bingo card. And obviously the thing I play here is for Columbus. Lose this game and lose it in regulation, and you have the best percentage of getting to the number 1 pick in this year's draft, I think at 25%. They don't want to win this game. And much like Calgary yesterday, that after blowing a chance to make the playoffs, finished strong with a 3-1 garbage win. You have to believe the Pittsburgh Penguins want to go out on a winning note after missing the playoffs and that disappointing loss to the Chicago Blackhawks on home ice. So we're going to take the Penguins minus a puck and a half, plus 125. We're going to take the puck line in this one, Pittsburgh, to get the job done. Columbus is just rolling out Michael Hutchinson every single game. He's like red light Rasico. He's got the burn on the back of his neck from looking at the puck behind him. Pittsburgh -1.5 plus 125 is your show best bet.
I love it. And I mean, you want to talk about teams trying to lose. Columbus right now, their roster, the way they're moving things around, they look like the Dallas Mavericks right now, making it that obvious they're trying to tank. So Pittsburgh going to finish off their season on a good note. I like that play quite a bit. Brian, what do you have for us today for your best bet?
I am going to comment on a couple things before I get to my best bet. First of all, the Colorado players don't want to lose. We've seen that many times. The players come out and try to win. The organization wants them to lose. So when the players are on the ice, they're going to do the best they can. Management may put them in a position, as you pointed out with the goalie, that they can't win. And that's the way it works out. Also, when you're looking at long shots and things of that nature tonight, we didn't mention Vegas can clinch the division with a tie. With the game going into overtime. So if the game does go to overtime and they clinch the division, now granted, it's a sport and the players are out there trying to win, but you've got to think that's the goal of Vegas. Just get out of there with a point. So if you could bet Seattle to win the game in overtime, that may be a good bet. If you like Seattle in the game, I would say if you can get that Seattle to win in overtime, it's probably a good play. Also, you mentioned the WT deal with the new clients. It's a 1 day or 3 day package. Get the 3 day package because today is Throwback Thursday. Everything on the site is half off today. So don't waste that coupon on a 1 day. Get it for 3 days. So you can pick up Buster's 5%, for example, today for half price for Throwback Thursday. I'm going to take a look at my best bet. We're going to go back to the first game we spoke of, and that will be the Florida game here against Carolina. Carolina is a team I've been fading lately. They have not played good teams in the month of April, and they could continue to struggle. Once again, the only playoff team they played was at home. They only won by a goal. Florida's a team. Sure, they're celebrating. They just got back into the playoffs, but this is huge to not have to play Boston in the first round. I mean, you've got to assume if you're a Florida player, this is the game you want. This is a game you got to have. Carolina wants it, but they don't have to have it. So Florida is my best bet on the show today. And I used it as a 4% on the site. So don't buy my hockey play. My other hockey play was the under in the Knights game. So you're getting both of them for free today. So don't play the half. Even if you're getting everything for half price, better to get them for free by tuning into this show today.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Always great chatting hockey with you. And again, guys, make sure you use that deal. Try WT if you are interested in a daily or 3 day pass. Real quick for me, looking at my best bet here, I have the over St. Louis and Dallas. Of course, something to play here for the Dallas Stars, but they have been playing some red hot hockey. 5 straight wins for them. In those wins, we saw them put up 5, 6, 4, 5. They're scoring goals. St. Louis, 9 of their last 11 games have gone up and over the total, whether it's them doing the scoring or their opponent. We have seen some high-scoring games involving the St. Louis Blues. So my best bet over in St. Louis and Dallas, over 6.5, whatever the best number is you can find there on that one. Guys, great show today. Awesome stuff breaking down these games. Still some bet on opportunities. Quick recap, Carmine with Pittsburgh puck line, Brian with Florida, and I have St. Louis, Dallas over 6. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both wagertalk.com and sportsmemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's 1 day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.